Hey everyone, in this video we will write a function which takes a string as argument and return the camel cased version of that string. Okay, so what is camel case? So this is the order what we will follow in this video. Okay, so first of all we will learn what is camel case. Okay, so let's take an example to understand. Okay, so suppose our string is half blood prints. So in a camel case string, there are no spaces and no symbols like hyphen or underscore. Okay, so they are removed, and in the complete sentence, the first word will be in small case. All the letters of the first word will be in small case, and for the other words, the first letter will be in uppercase and others will be in small case. Okay, so here B will be in uppercase and others will be in small case. Okay, so let's write it. So this is the first word, so it will be in small case, half. Okay, and for the other words, B will be in uppercase and other will be in small case, LLOD. Okay, and for prints, P will be in uppercase and others will be in small case. So this is the camel case version of this string. Okay, let's take more example. Suppose this Tom Morville riddle. Okay, so here these symbols, these hyphen symbols will get removed, and Tom, the first word, will be in small case. Okay, and for the other words, first letter will be in uppercase and others will be in small case. So M will be in uppercase and ARVOLO will be in small case. Okay, and similarly for riddle, R will be in uppercase and other letters will be in small case. Okay, so this is what our function will do. It will convert this to this. Okay, now let's see how will we implement it. First of all, we will remove these symbols like hyphen and underscore. Okay, so we will replace them by spaces. So in our sentence, there will be only spaces and other words. Okay, so after that, we will break the sentence by space. Okay, so let's write it. So here, logic is will replace symbols like hyphen and underscore with space. Okay, then we'll break the sentence by space. Okay, after that, we will, so after breaking in by space, like here you can see there are multiple spaces. So if we break this string by space, then there will be more than three elements. Like this three will be there, but also in between there are many empty strings elements of in that array. Okay, so we have to remove that. So we'll remove empty string elements from the array. So this part it will convert the string into array. Okay, so here we will remove that empty string element from that this array. Okay, let's say it string splitted by space array. Okay, so we will remove a space from this empty strings from this array, and we will name it. We'll name that this variable to string splitted by space extra space removed. Okay, all the extra spaces will be removed. After this, we will look through all the words of that array. Okay, words of the array. And for each word, if it's if the index of the word is 1, sorry 0, means it is the first element, like the first word of our sentence, we will convert the complete word into small case. Okay, then convert that word to small case. Okay, and if it is not the first word, then we will convert the first letter of that word to uppercase and others will be lowercase. So if index greater than 0, then convert first letter of that word to uppercase and other will be in, and other letters will be in lowercase, another letters to lowercase. Okay. Okay, so this will cover our part, and after that we will convert that array to a string and return it. Convert uh, the array to a string and return it. Okay, so there is one more case. So in case of, like for example, if our string is already in camel case or near to camel case. Okay, so like here you can see it is almost camel case, the only issue is here a is in capital. Okay, and for this example it is already in camel case. Okay, so for the examples we need to return, we need to check that if it is already in camel case or not. So how will we do it? Like here, after removing extra spaces, we will check the length of this array. Okay, here we will check length of this array. What is the name of this array? This array. Okay, if length is 1, then we know that there is only one word in our sentence. Okay, if there is only one word, then only we need to convert the first letter to small case. Okay, so here we will convert, if the length is 1, then we will convert first letter of the word to a small case. Okay, and others letter will go as it is. Okay, and if the length is greater than 1, if length is greater than 1, then we will follow these steps. So this is our logic for the code and also implementation logic. So let's start the code. So first of all we will remove all the symbols. So let name this variable symbols removed, string symbols removed. Okay, so string dot replace. Okay, so we have here, we have to replace all the occurrences of all that symbol. Okay, or not only the first occurrence. So that's why in our pattern we will give a regex with global tag. Okay, then replace underscore by this. Okay, so this will remove all the underscore, all the hyphens, replace all the hyphens by a space, and here it will replace all the underscore by space. Okay, now let's split by space. String splitted by space. Okay, so here dot split by space. Okay, now it will split our string to by space and it will get converted into an array. Okay. Now we have to remove all the elements with empty string from this array. Okay. So here we will use filter. So let's name this variable extra space removed. So string splitter by space dot filter item, and we will return that element of the array which is not empty string. Okay. So this will remove all the elements from that array which has empty string. Okay, now our these parts has been done. Now we have to check the length of this array. If length is 1, then we know that our string is already in camel case or almost in camel case. Okay, so what we have to do in this case, that first of all we will store this element in an variable name item. Okay, because we have only one element, so only first index we are taking. Okay, so now we have to return item dot first character dot to lowercase. Okay, and others as it is. Fine. Else if the length of our array is greater than 1, then we have to iterate through each element of that array and convert the, and we have to check one more thing, that here while iteration we have to check the index of that element. If that index is 0, means if it is the first element, then we will convert all the letters of that string into small case, and in other cases for other elements we will convert the first letter to capital case and others will be in small case. Okay, so here let's store it in variable name result res. Okay, and this will be remove dot map. Okay, we can also use reduce here. We will directly convert that array to a string. Okay, so what is the reduce function? So reduce function is used to get a single value out of the array. Okay, so it is a function over an array which iterate through all the elements of this array and return a single value out of it. So how does it work? So suppose in first iteration, whatever we give here in this argument, it will come in accumulator of the first iteration. Okay, and what we return from this iteration will come in accumulator of the next iteration. Okay, so suppose here from here we return a. So in the first iteration, the accumulator will be simply empty string. Okay, whatever is here, and in the next iteration, accumulator will become a. Okay, and suppose that from the second iteration we return b. So in the third iteration, accumulator will become b. Okay, so this is how reduce function works. Now let's write our logic. First of all, we have to check the index of that element. Okay, and let's store this in answer variable. Okay, so if index is 0, then if index is 0, then we need to convert the first letter of the word to small case. So item dot 0 to lowercase, otherwise we will convert it in uppercase if it is not the first word. Okay, and the other part of the word will go in lowercase in all cases. Okay, so item dot slice dot to lower cases. Okay, and from each iteration we have to return this value accumulator plus answer. Okay, so this will convert our array to a string with this logic applied. Fine. Now let's return this. Okay, so our function is pretty much done. Now we can test it. Okay, so let's take the first example. This is normal string. Okay, so let's run it. Okay, so node camelCase. Okay, so here we can see the sentence. This sentence is converted to camelCase. Here this G is in uppercase, H is in uppercase. Here you can see. Okay, so this is fine. Now let's run it on this string. Half dot prints. Okay, so here we can see the first letter of the first word is in small case, and for the other words the first letter is in capital case and others are in small case. Okay, now let's try for this snake case where we have underscore instead of space. Okay, so here you can also see it is converted to camel case. Now let's test on this hyphen. Okay, Tom Marvel reality plus 1. Now this is mixture of all. We have a spaces, hyphen, underscore, everything here, and also some random capitals letter in between the word. Okay, okay, Spider-Man, fine. Now let's run it int. Okay, here it is almost camel case. Only the issue is here the first letter of this string. Okay, so now you can see the first letter is small letter. Everything else is fine. Okay. Now let's test on this. This is already camel case, so there nothing should happen here. Okay. Oh, sorry. I have to pass this variable. Okay, fine. It is as it is. Okay. Now let's run it on some string with unexpected words. Okay. Undefined null and n. Fine. Now here we have to check one more thing. If our string is not string, then we have to simply return whatever is coming. Okay. So this will be a rare case. Okay, fine. So if not string or string is number, then we have to simply return string. In case of number, we can't do anything. Okay, so if it is number, then we will simply return that string. Okay, fine. So here it should return 1 2 3. Fine. Now this is a string with numbers, so it is a string, so our logic will get implemented here. Fine. S is capital, A is capital. Okay, now let's run this. Here we have spaces and symbols are the first character of the string. Okay, fine, it is also working. So for better understanding like how our string and array is changing at each step, we can add console logs and see. Okay, at each step we will add logs. We will console these three variables and see what are their values. Fine. So we will run for this variable. Now let's run it. So here you can see in the first step, like string symbols removed. Here we have just removed the symbols like underscore and hyphen and underscore with spaces. Here string symbol removed, we have only spaces instead of underscore and hyphen. And in next step, when we split by space, so our string splitted by space variable gives this array. Here we have all the values and also multiple spaces in between, because there here we are multiple spaces, so each of them gets splitted by space. Okay, that's why here we are here multiple spaces are coming. Okay, and at next step where we are removing the space, so in extra space removed variable, here we can see we have only 4 elements and all the extra spaces has been removed. Okay, yeah, so that's all. Okay, so our function is working on all of the examples. Okay, so there is one more thing, that this video has been divided into 2 parts. So in the first part we learned how to implement this camelCase function. In the second part we will see, like, there is an object which have multiple keys with different type of strings, like these strings which are in camelCase and also in hyphen, snake case, normal string. Okay, so we will convert this object to a new object which where all the keys will be in camelCase. Okay, so we will write this function in the next video. Fine. Okay, so thank you for watching.